family to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, then go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can be notified when we upload a new video. If you are already subscribed, then please give the video a like and share this video podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. This podcast is available in 3 forms: audio, video, and a written transcript in order for us to reach our audience. I also cite all of my sources under Show and Prove on my Medium page, which is where I post my transcript. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from around the globe. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing and legal services, all for free. We need your help now more than ever. Our film project, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins, is funded by the Black grassroots and the global Black family. I'm working with a shoestring budget as our community continues to grow. Our operational costs will also grow. If you got any value from our content this year, please consider supporting our film project in 3 ways. They are as follows. Through our virtual store, we provide merchandise such as COVID face masks, coffee mugs, posters, handbags, and t-shirts. All the proceeds will go towards our film project. 2, through our PayPal page, Archive Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, is a faith-based community advocacy organization. Donations can be used as a tax write-off for U.S. citizens because this is a legal 501c3 nonprofit organization. 3, you can also support our film project by purchasing my revised book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition, which is available on my Amazon author page. I provide each website on my transcript under Show and Prove. You can also find each website on my YouTube channel under About section. When you're supporting our YouTube channel or our podcast, you're supporting an independent Black network which will eventually employ Black people in our films, stage plays, and in our actual business. We're gonna start getting things done. We need to own and control institutions in our neighborhoods. If you are unable to participate on the show, no worries. After the show, I upload my video podcast on my YouTube channel and on my Anchor page. When you have a moment, please watch my latest video podcast. Leave a public comment in the section on my YouTube page and on my Facebook page about the topic. Please share my information with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Before I go into my presentation, I would like to remind our listeners to please mark your calendars for November 10th, 2021. We will be celebrating the Grassroots Community Activist Movement 30th anniversary. If interested in participating on the show, then send me your email address to my Facebook inbox. The topic for today: unite or perish. Who is your allegiance to? Black empowerment or the financial elite agenda? My message to Black immigrants in America and the global Black family: if you're going to immigrate to America, you need to know your color is your group. Many of you are coming over here and separating yourselves from Black Americans. When you separate yourself from Black Americans, you are setting yourself up to be soft targets. Some of you are also trying to bring your tribalism over here. It failed in your country or island. If it was successful, then you would not have left and come over here. You are abandoning your country while the Arabs, Chinese, East Indians, and Europeans are coming over there, buying up the real estate and taking all of the natural resources. As we watch the events which happened on the border where Haitians were being deported, all of a sudden everyone started looking at Black Americans. Like I said on my last podcast, we're past the era of warning. Now we have entered into the era of consequences. So many Black immigrants that came to America separate themselves from Black Americans. Our allies were people back in the day like Marcus Garvey and Skokie Carmichael, who came over here to fight systematic racism and white supremacy in order for us to build a global coalition. Unfortunately, too many Black immigrants today don't want to build with us. Instead, they want to come over here to undermine us and antagonize us. People like Roland Martin, Candace Owen, and Joyce Reed are constantly putting down Black Americans. This is not cool at all. In fact, it was Black Americans who have fought and died to make it possible to have Black immigrants to travel to this nation. Black immigrants from Africa and the Caribbean are benefiting from the struggle, from our struggle, yet in Gambia, there is no benefit for the diaspora. In other words, in order to apply for citizenship, we would have to wait 15 years. This is unacceptable. And Gracam will not be going to Gambia anytime soon. Where is our seat at the African Union? There is no African demanding a DACA plan for Black Americans or descendants of American slaves in Africa. The lack of sacrifice from Black immigrants is a real problem. We supported Black immigrants coming to America. All of a sudden, when Black Americans or descendants of American slaves start pushing for reparations for only our group, Black immigrants became hostile towards us. We are looked upon as foreigners by continental Africans, not as displaced Africans. Those of us who are woke are trying to come back to our ancestral homeland, which is Africa. However, if you want us to support your rights on American soil, then you all at the grassroots level need to support our rights on African soil and the Caribbean soil. This works both ways. First, we had white supremacists who exploited our labor. Now we have Black immigrants who are coming over here trying to exploit us. Well, the buck stops here. The grassroots community activist movement is changing the narrative from hope, change, and integration to Black empowerment and Black first. Africans abroad need to support Black Americans or descendants of American slaves. Many of us want dual citizenship. The Grassroots Community Activists Institute of Africa wants to set up chapters in at least 10 African nations that we will visit during our African tours. We want to work with African governments to help speed up citizenship, the process between, I would say, 5 years or less in exchange for our talents and skills. We also want equal rights just like other African citizens. We want to invest in African countries on an equal basis and equal footing. Black American spending power as a collective is $1 trillion. And so, Africa needs that money to help, build up its infrastructure. And that's what we want to do through this business that I'm trying to get started here in America first for credibility. Our investment would help improve the African economy. We want to help. We want to have a prosperous business development in order to address agricultural technology, creating alternative energy such as wind and solar, solving rolling blackouts and water filtration in West Africa. We want to learn the language and culture of each country that we visit and make our presence known in them. We would like to recommend a public holiday to commemorate our ancestors' journey. We want to be included in the African Constitution. Citizenship is not just about having a passport, it's about financial security. If Black Americans and Africans don't get it together by not unifying, then if we lose Africa, we lose everything, and our children will end up paying the consequences. For example, I provide a video under Show and Prove entitled Why Zambia is a Chinese colony. You have Asian restaurants in Africa that is discriminating against Africans in their own country. What kind of sense does this make? You will never see an African restaurant discriminating against Chinese in China. You also have Chinese in Parliament in South Africa. Yet you will never see an African in the China government or in their parliament. I'm just saying. It was Black Americans / descendants of American slaves from the civil rights era who inspired African leaders to push for independence from colonial rule. Do the research. Pan-Africanism is a global movement that aims to encourage and strengthen bonds of solidarity between all diaspora ethnic groups of African descent based on a common goal dating back to the Atlantic slave trade. The movement extends beyond continental Africans with a substantial support base among the African diaspora in the Americas and Europe. Pan-Africanism can be said to have its origins in the struggle of the African people against enslavement and colonization. And this struggle may be traced back to the first resistance on slave ships, rebellions, and suicides. Pan-Africanism is a belief that African people, both on the continent and in the diaspora, share not merely a common history, but a common destiny. Pan-Africanism, intellectual, cultural, and political movements tend to view all Africans and descendants of Africa as belonging to a single race and or share cultural unity. Pan-Africanism poses a sense of a shared historical fate for Africans in America, West Indies, and on the continent. Pan-African thought influenced the establishment of the Organization of African Unity. Pan-Africanism stressed the need for collective self-reliance. Pan-Africanism exists as a governmental and grassroots objective. The main Pan-African leaders were Dr. Kwame, Robert Mugabe, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Nelson Mandela, just to name a few. Pan-Africanism believed that solidarity will enable the continent to fulfill its potential to independence, provide for all its people, and all African alliance would empower African people globally. Advocates of Pan-Africanism often champion social principles and tend to be opposed to external political and economic involvement on the continents. Pan-Africanism is about supporting all Africans for the good of Africans. Africans in Africa don't see themselves as black. They view themselves as a member of a tribe. We will work with our African brothers and sisters to move past tribalism for the sake of Africa's future. Unlike FBA, the Foundation of Black Americans, or ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, GRCAM still wants to extend a hand of friendship with you while we still have a grace period. The grassroots community activist movement is based on my experience. This is what makes GRCAM different from other black organizations. We will create our own barter system with African nations and Caribbean nations. We will be about connecting with black people, African people, Caribbean people, and others who are interested in fair trade. This is how you build an economy. We're all going to be on code because we know that we need each other. I am on a shoestring budget. That's why my focus is on getting this film fully funded and made. We welcome non-black sympathizers. However, we will be using an Afrocentric perspective, and black people must build it and own it. After all, this is for black people. My message to black Americans, black millennials, people on my friends list, and members of GRCAM. Since January of this year, 2021, I have been doing my best to encourage people on my friends list and people in my social groups to participate on the show. I understand that many of you are working parents and or returning back to school, but even if you are unable to participate on the show, all I ask is that when you have a moment, please leave a comment about the topic, good or bad, and share with your friends. I usually get less than 10 people to leave a comment. So far, we have raised $900 for our film project. Our goal is to obtain $500,000 in order to make a statement that we are serious about making a quality black empowerment film so that we can reach the black masses beyond cyberspace. Some of my critics say that selling a book is a scam. People who talk like that, they are usually uneducated, and we don't want to get ourselves caught up with negative people in this organization. If you're not going to hear anything about me running a scam. I don't operate that way. Some of my critics say that I don't like being tested. I have been on Facebook for 17 years, doing my best to connect with other like-minded black people from around the globe. For us to not only talk about the issues facing our community on a local, national, and international level, but I want to solve our social problems starting in my own city, and that's here in the city of Chicago. I'm receiving pushback, not from white people, but from our own people. For on my Facebook page, I have 1,467 people. Only a handful of people are participating on the show. What is wrong with this picture? 17 years is a jail sentence. My message has been constant. I may paraphrase here and there, but my message is always on point. If Black America was serious about a solution, then my revised book would have been on the bestsellers list by now, and we would not even have to be doing a film, but it is what it is. Since Black America has rejected my vision and plan for the past 29 years, going on 30 years, my organization will be membership-based. None of my members would never have to endure unnecessary rejection and humiliation, just like what I'm going through, for trying to do something positive in the Black community. Our children are the ones who are suffering unnecessary casualties because of this Willie Lynch mentality within Black society. Because I lack little or to no support from Black America, I am unable to do my job. All I can do at this point is pray and watch how children die in the streets of Chicago and across America. And I want to do more than that. That's how come, I'm very serious about just trying to get this film project fully funded and made, because unfortunately a lot of our people don't like to read, and that's just how it is. So, I want to be able to reach people, especially Black people, because this is to help our youth. And I'm not just talking about these issues. I mean, I have a vision and I have a plan. But I need to be able to be in a position where I can turn these ideas into action. That's why I wrote the book. I wrote the vision and made it plain. Before we can discuss uniting, we have to separate ourselves from the enemy within. After slavery, once our ancestors left those plantations, the backstabbers, sellouts, and coons left with us. Once we obtain property in Chicago, then GRCAM will become GRCI of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. All of our local members will be screened, submit to a criminal background check, attend our mandatory orientation, and sign a community pledge, no exceptions. We also require our members' thumbprint to be placed in our database so that we can keep tabs on who's doing what within the business, because we don't want freeloaders. Everybody's going to have to carry their weight. This is going to be mutual benefits for the members. We will offer a second chance program for ex-offenders for nonviolent crimes, former gang members, no hardened criminals, no active gang members, no urban terrorists, no pedophiles, and no half-steppers allowed in my organization. This is how I get down, and this is what I want to be remembered for, trying to do something, not just sitting up here complaining about the white man and the government, trying to move behind this computer. But, this Willie Lynch mentality is strong, so once I get this organization, through the film, the proceeds from that will put me in a better position so I can do all the stuff which I talk about. And one of the things I want to do is declare war on this Willie Lynch mentality within the Black culture through this business. In this business, I want us to reconnect with our middle-class Black professionals. Many of them don't want to deal with people in the inner cities due to urban terrorists who is killing our youth, extorting businesses in the community, and also the high crime rate. For example, Nipsey Hussle, he was trying to give back to the community and ended up being murdered by an urban terrorist. And not just him, many others. I would like to create satellite communities within the inner cities of Chicago and replicate it in at least 5 cities in America so that we can produce qualified Black laborers who will build industries and create jobs for our youth before I turn the business over to qualified Black middle-class professionals and take my talents and skills to South Africa. Because again, I feel like my talents and skills will be used more effective over there. Um, Over there on the continent, they have an issue as well, and that's called um, colonized mindset. So because they was not enslaved and they were able to keep their language and their culture, but the colonized mindset is the notion that the West, which is America, Europe, and Canada, those countries, they're more superior than African culture. That's what, colonized mindset is. And we want to come against that. We want our people to heal from that, as well as from this Willie Lynch mentality. So that's what this organization is going to do. We want to be able to heal first. We can't even consider fighting white supremacy at this point, because too many of our people are just, we're affected by colonization and enslavement. Those who refuse to be part of us, we will show them, we will pray for them, we will show them tough love, and keep it moving. If they want to be annihilated, that's on them. My message to black militant integrationists: Dr. King and our grandparents, they were wrong. Integration did not help us as a group. It only benefited the dominant society. As a result, we have fewer black businesses than we had during the civil rights era. Don't take my word for it, do the research. Malcolm X, he was also wrong. Separation from American culture could never happen when you're living on American soil, because of this little clause in the law called eminent domain, which means the financial elites has the right to expropriate private property for the public use. This is why the financial elites have created expressways through black neighborhoods. Do the research. Also, ever since Black Wall Street was destroyed, there has never been another in America. The George Floyd Policing Act still has not been approved, yet the Asian Hate Crime Bill has been approved in less than a year. Black Americans are not safe in America due to this Willie Lynch mentality among us. You have to keep telling black people to support black businesses, because many of them are patronizing all these other groups and businesses, but can't support people like myself, who's trying to do something positive in the black community and for our people on a local, national, and international level. It doesn't make sense. The Breonna Taylor case is a perfect example of why black people need to think fast about making connections with our African brothers and sisters while we still have a grace period. We are unable to stop road cops from entering our homes and killing us without any consequences because of qualified immunity. We live in a country where it is engineered to accept those who are working against our interests. The financial elites have adopted the art of recruiting black people to undermine us. The best example is the Congressional Black Caucus, who have been playing this divide and conquer with us for the longest. The dominant society is on code with their agenda of turning a blind eye to non-justice happening to us. When black people participate in the political process and don't demand any tangibles for our vote, then this is the outcome. Things like this happens with the Biden administration. The Democrats are using the Civil Rights Act, which was intended for black people, but the financial elites have flipped the script and have given it to Asian people. If you say anything offensive to them, law enforcement can hit you up with federal charges under the Civil Rights Act because they have a hate crime bill. This is why black Americans need to listen to what I'm trying to say. We have to take the political structure serious. If you're not going to get anything out of the political process, then you're not supposed to participate in it. You should not participate in any system that is actively working against you. When you vote in an elected official who sits up here and enforce the federal Civil Rights Act that our grandparents fought and died for, but will not enforce those same laws for black people, then this should be your wake-up call, black America. White supremacists who stormed Capitol Hill are getting a slap on the wrist for attempting to overthrow the government, while hate crimes against black people are on the rise. When it comes to protecting the rights of black people from harassment, all of a sudden, law enforcement can't intervene. I found an article from Valley News. It talked about a white supremacist by the name of Larry Bowler, who assaulted a 11-year-old black girl. He was charged with felony aggravated assault. I found another article, this time on Yahoo. It said no charges filed for Longmont police identified a person behind racist flyers. I provide the full article under show and prove on my Medium page. I found another example from NBC4 website. They discuss how residents are fed up with monkey noise. Racial slurs are being played by their neighbor and nothing is being done about it. There's a lot of stories like this happening in America. The grassroots community activist movement would take the lead in raising the bar in black America, Africa, and eventually in the Caribbean. We will create a universal code for our members. At this time, I am the business, I am the grassroots community activist movement. My revised book is the foundation of my virtual Christian socialist organizations. You don't have to be a Christian to be a part of GRCAM. Just as long as you're a law-abiding citizen, then I can work with you. GRCAM is an experience, more than just an online group. With the support of GRCAM members, I plan on building satellite communities within our inner city, starting in Chicago. They will be based on principles of order, hospitality, stability, and prayer. The grassroots community activist movement is about promoting a policy of global black unity, ownership, and community support. I was horrified by the moral chaos happening in black America. This is why I created the grassroots community activist movement, because I wanted a place for black people, African people, to discuss social issues and how we can solve our issues on a local, national, and international level, as well as learn about the gospel, all on the internet. We do not have the luxury of being hosted in the cloud by Amazon, Microsoft, or Google. In God's timing, I plan to hire black information technologists who can build and grow our own website. GRCAM is expanding and the gospel is being shared as well. GRCAM will start black businesses, hold virtual Bible studies to connect and fellowship with black Christians and non-black Christians, praying for one another, and many other activities. GRCAM is are even embracing the love and saving grace of Jesus Christ for the very first time in their lives. Gracam also have our secular brothers and sisters who are artists, authors, poets, and entertainers. Our black media component called Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos is helping us get more exposure among our members. Our objective is to share culturally relevant information as it pertains to black issues and African issues. I'm excited about getting our film project fully funded and made in order for us to reach the black masses worldwide. I want to be sure that our film is going to be of high quality production, and I also want to hire a professional screenwriter so that our story will stand out. Many Christians know and will openly admit that the production value on Christian content can often be lackluster. That will not be the case with this film and the other work we plan on doing in the near future. It's my hope that our great grandchildren will learn what happened during the greatest spiritual war of our time. Kakayo Chicago will create a viable, high-quality entertainment and educational alternative for black Christian families and black secular families that will be essential in the black community. Black people who reside within the inner city of Chicago are undernourished. We will promote communities, support initiatives such as a food pantry to help meet those needs to battle food and insecurity. This is why our black media component must be preserved at all costs. Not only does it provide real-time information, but it's also providing and creating and the creation of a parallel black economy where GRCAM members can discover parallel goods and services by black entrepreneurs and African entrepreneurs. If you don't care about solving black issues, then please delete me off your friends list. You're taking up space. I want people on my friends list to work with me and Sister Renee so that we can turn my vision and ideas into a reality. The proceeds from the film will put me in a better position financially so that I can hire qualified black middle class professionals, buy office equipment, and purchase property in Chicago and in Africa. The proceeds from the film will also help us launch our African tours and build an international coalition in terms of trading goods and services with African entrepreneurs in African nations that we will visit, and black entrepreneurs who are members of GRCAM here in America. Without support from the black grassroots and the global black family, I am unable to do my job. This is why I'm using my online talk show, my online groups, and my blog posts to help get my message out to other like-minded black people. This is what I want to be remembered for, trying to do something positive for my racial group instead of begging the financial elites who have created all these social conditions in the first place. My film is my last attempt to try to do something positive for my racial group in America. Lord have mercy on my racial group and allow me to see my work come to pass in my lifetime. Yes, I understand that, my messages or my show is kind of heavy. Yes, it's controversial. Some people, might even say it's boring. But again, a lot of our children are being slaughtered. And to me, this is not just business as usual. This is personal. This is very important that black people, for us to help solve these issues, because this is a black problem. And before I, like I say, cut and run, go to Africa and help my brothers and sisters on the continent, I want to start it where I'm at. And I'm here in America. We got to get it started here first. So if I'm unable to find other African Americans to work with me, no problem. This is why I'm reaching out to the global black family. If you have family members from your country that's in America, please tell them about me. And also let me know their names and all that stuff, so that way when they send me a friend request, I'll know who they are. And also encourage them to send me their email address as well, so that way I can stay in contact with them and share all my information with them directly. But we want to get this thing popping. Because again, I don't have another 29 years to waste. I am doing the best that I can. And again, this is spiritual warfare at its best. And again, I just want Satan to know that, hey, it's no shame. It's no shame at all. I'm grateful that God has given me the opportunity to use this show. I'm trying to use it wisely. I'm trying to use this technology effective. And that's why I want to bring more people on the show to, share their information too, because I'm not just sitting up here just trying to solicit people to, fund our film project. I want people to promote their products and services too, but they just have to let me know. You have to connect with me. And, once I start making money and, hiring people and all that stuff, I know everybody's going to want to be on board then, but I'm going to let them know up front, ain't nothing changing. Ain't nothing changing. This has been a thorn in my flesh for the past 29 years. And I am against this Willie Lynch mentality in the black culture. And I'm going to do my best to come against that mess through this business. Because this is the main thing that's holding us back. Yes, I can reach out to non-black sympathizers more. But again, this is black people's responsibility. This is to help solve our issues. So with that being said, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to wait for about 15 minutes. If I don't hear from anyone, then hey, I've done my part. But I'm not doing this for my health. I'm doing this to help save our youth. Create something positive for them. Create jobs for our youth so that they don't keep killing each other. And we can break these generational curses by working with broken black families. But I gotta generate capital, because it's just really me and Sister Renee here in Chicago. Nobody else is working with us, and that's just being real. But I refuse to sit up here and be ignored. And like I say, once we get this film project fully funded and made, and we get this organization started in Chicago, we want at least half of the people on the west side of Chicago in the black community to work with us. If we're unable to get that, then we will take this organization to another city. But we want to make sure we have a successful Christian business first before we expand to Africa. All right? With that being said, the phone lines are now open.